Hey, YouTube, welcome into the Rockstarflipper YouTube channel. Thursday means one thing. It is live, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, everybody who's already in the room, 21 people. Stephen Fielder starting it off with $1 super chat. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. And whoever had that I was going to be 2 minutes fashionably late, you are the big winner. I was 2 minutes late. I did not manipulate that. I believe that was Suzette, right? Anyways, what's going on, everybody? She's a big winner. Callie's World, yo, Callie's World. That reminds me of like Bobby's World anytime I hear that. Callie, you should do like an opening intro where you ride like a little tricycle and have Ryan video you around the office. That'd be pretty funny. Dream big in Southern California. You guys having beautiful weather today, just like we did. 80 degrees again. And Karen is across the border north. Hey, mate, up in Canada. Steven sells guitars, right? Hey, Thrifty T. Hey to everybody. The feed is fuzzy, David Graham says. You may have to refresh that. Dave was saying I was a little fuzzy, but I didn't see it. Anyways, welcome into everybody. Looks clear on my end. It looks clear. Does everybody see that it looks clear on my end? Looks pretty clear, right? Everything looks clear. Lots of people here in Florida, so everyone knows what kind of weather we're having here. But thanks, everybody. Ben Picker. Yeah, fuzzy Casey. Uh-oh. Casey's got a fuzzy feed. Oh, I see it on the thing now. Didn't we have this happen last week and I had to fix it somehow? Does anybody know how to fix it? Hold on. I'll fix it. Give me a second. I don't know what I did to fix it, but I'm going to fix it. I'm going to go and change it to the FaceTime camera. So you guys are going to lose me for a second, and then I'm going to switch back to the actual camera. Fuzzy. Okay, see if that fixed it, y'all. The Roots gave Callie the night off. You guys should be able to see it. What up with the $10 super chat from Corey? Corey, thank you so much for the $10. I really appreciate that. I'm going to have to invest in a new camera or test it out. Hopefully the fuzziness will go away in a minute. It's not terrible. What is going on? It may be a setting. I have it set to 1080. My camera's 1080, but eh. Yeah, I'm using the same camera, so perhaps something. It looks clear on my end. I'll figure it out for you guys for the next show. Sorry, we're gonna have to deal with it tonight. Sorry, guys. Dave, any solutions? I don't know really what's going on. Yeah, I set it to 720 as well. New Tampa, Stenley, what's up? I got your email. Got your email, so thank you for the email. Thank you to everyone who emailed me. If I didn't answer you, I'll answer it tonight. If I forget your email, send them again. If I forget your messages, please send them again. Yeah, I had this problem at Dave's, so maybe it's the rum that's fuzzy. No, Star says it's the rum. I got no rum, guys. No rum, sorry. Anyways, let's move on. Let's get into what's important. And I've done a ton of coaching calls this week for the VIP group. Catching me live from Melbourne, Australia. That's awesome. Welcome in. So I want to tell everyone one of the biggest couple of things that happens on the coaching calls that I do, the one-on-ones, all that kind of stuff. I think that the biggest two issues that I see from all of you, and all of you have great stores. A lot of you are really good sellers. Some of you getting started. But I think what I see is listing a ton of death piles, for one. Death piles galore. I see a ton of people who are really good sourcers and a ton of people, hey, Jessica, unfashionably late, what's up? And I see a ton of people who know what to pick up, but they get it all home and then it just overwhelms them. So that is probably problem number one. You guys are buying and not selling. We are sellers. Quality improving. Good. Awesome. I think it has something to do with YouTube's system. I'm going to work on it, though. Hey there, Candace. What's up? Number two, Ruth Field. Welcome into the VIP group. She joined the VIP group. Number two that I see is the pricing. We went over it in the last video, and there are a lot of pricing issues. Dave, your video is frozen, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. And you may want to disconnect, reconnect. And so a lot of the sourcing is kind of, there's not a lot of junk. I think everyone's getting to the point where they know not to buy junk, but I think a lot of people are getting to the point where they're just getting overwhelmed by those piles of good stuff. And when they finally do get the stuff listed, they're pricing it too high. The prices are just beyond what you think. So again, I don't point anyone out, and I've gone through hundreds of stores, but I see dress shirts priced at $30, and when I pull up the solds, it's 15, 15, 15, 14, 18, 15, 15. And I know they have best offer. So a lot of people have to understand that best offer is great, but if you're double or triple what an item is selling for on the sourcing guidance or on the solds, it's going to cause your buyer to be scared. They may not even make the offer. They may not think it's worth their time, or that you won't even consider the offer. There you go. You're clear now. So make sure that you are pricing. It is certainly okay to price a little bit higher than what you want. You can always come down, but you can't go back up. But don't price it out of the atmosphere or stratosphere, whatever, where somebody's not even going to make you an offer. Resell Mel, what's going on? The VIP is keeping me a little busy. A lot of you guys have joined it. Star has 2 sales since we went live. That's pretty cool. Awesome job, Star. I think Star went on and bought some of her own stuff from another account.
I'm frozen again, right?
I don't know. Yeah, I think so. I think you're causing me to have some lag, by the way. Dave isn't on the chat. You guys can say hi to him, but he's having some technical difficulty, which may be causing the quality of my video to go down because I look a lot clearer now that you disconnected. Rocking the Maker's 46 glass. I did. Knight sent me this glass. It was awesome. Thank you again, Knight. My new favorite glasses. I use it for everything. Little Coke going on. Just a little Coke. A little Coke going on. Yeah. So if anybody wants to know my opinion on the 2 things stopping eBay sellers, listing and pricing. 2 things that take the most amount of work, listing and researching pricing. You guys got to make sure you take the prices. The hardest thing to accept as an eBay seller is that your items are not going to make you rich overnight. You have to detach yourself from the inventory and be a seller and not a hoarder, or be a seller, not a collector, be a seller, not an inventory keeper. You have to take what you can get. And if you find that you're taking less and less to the point of not really profiting enough to matter, you've got to buy better items, or you've got to price better when you're putting them up. If it's taking you dropping stuff down in sales, you absolutely have to buy better. Absolutely. See you next time, Ruth. Elena dropped her prices. Biggest day ever. 12 sold and 1 was a bundle of 6. Yeah, make a schedule. So let's talk about the listing side. We all get prices. Prices is easy. Look it up. Figure out if you're too high. Drop the price. It doesn't take any secret sauce to do the pricing. What does it take to do sourcing to get, or not sourcing, listing to actually get stuff up? Well, a schedule and time management. I think you're frozen again, by the way.
Clearly.
Whatever it is you're doing is not working. So yeah, Chunky Onion just said something, and I'm going to scroll up to read this for you guys. Follow sellers that are willing to disclose their true numbers. So people like to say, I bought a Nike shirt for $2 and that's great. I sold it for $65. Stop. Stop. What did you actually get for it? Did you get 15? Because if you got 15, tell us. Because remember, YouTubers, and remember bigger sellers, the little guys and girls take what you are saying and go out into a thrift store and buy based on what they hear on the internet. I've never, everybody knows here that I sell low cost, high volume. I do, what is our average sale price? $14.80 or something? It's like $14 or $15. It's somewhere in between there. And I just have to sell 20 or 30 a day. Like 20 a day so I can hit $250, $300 numbers. And a lot of days I don't. We do 210 or 190 or 240 or 180 or, the other day we did 118. I mean, it's up and down and all over the place. And you keep freezing, by the way, and keep swapping between pictures. Sound is excellent, Dave. Yeah, we keep hearing you in the background.
I got something going for me.
Something going for you. We can, Unfortunately, we have to hear his big mouth.
Am I working now?
Yeah.
I got video?
So Casey, should it be more on selling more inventory with low price? No, I don't think. I mean, in a perfect world, we'd all buy stuff for $2 and sell it for 30 or 40. I don't know that every city has that availability. Find it as it comes. But if you have to sell stuff for cheaper and you end up selling it down to where you're only making $3 or $4, don't buy that merchandise again, or buy it cheaper. It's easy. Buy low, sell high. And if you're hoarding stuff in your store, because let's say you picked up 20 Tommy Bahama shirts and you paid $10 a piece because you thought you were going to get $40, now all of a sudden they're worth 20 and you're not going to profit more than like $2. Stop buying Tommy Bahama, or buy them knowing that you're going to get 20, leaving you 12, and you got to buy them for $2 to make $10 a piece. Are you okay with making $10 a piece? Perfect. Mike Tobias, my video is lagging a lot. I don't know why. I kind of want to disconnect and reconnect.
That's because I'm looking awesome and I sound great, and you are low quality.
I do not know. Like, over the last 2 weeks, ever since I've been at your house, it's been bad.
But I look great, don't I? Everybody agrees. I'm looking. See? Kathy said I look amazing. See? And Casey's
okay, so I'm messing with the bandwidth at the top. Adjust bandwidth usage.
I think you need a new laptop, Casey.
It's not my laptop. Get out of here.
Maybe a new face. Maybe. Oh, now you look. Now you look. Wow, you look very nice now. Like, I can't actually stop staring at you now because you look.
Oh, I fixed it. Yeah. Who's now the technical wizard now?
Now you're very attractive now. Now you're just stuttering and stopping now. So
now who's the tech wizard?
Yeah, but now you're freezing. Every other word's freezing. It's not working.
You guys in the chat are the best. Okay, so we've discussed the prices, and I really want everyone, I don't want everyone to run to social media and say, Casey told me to drop all my prices. Elizabeth, thank you so much for the super chat. Miss Elizabeth Jenkins, who is in here each and every week, one of my long time supporters, her and Steven and everybody else who is so generous with the super chats. Thank you so much. Corey as well. I appreciate all of you. Elizabeth, thanks for being here all the time.
You need to put it back to where you look terrible.
Dave has
now you're freezing and stuttering. Your video is not, you're not good now. You need to put it back. At least looking bad, you sounded clear, because now we're missing too much of what you're saying.
Okay, I changed it. Sorry. Dave has multiple kids, so give him a break. Yeah, whatever.
No, I said because somebody said I was flirting with you, and somebody said I have multiple kids, and I'm like, listen, that you catch more flies with honey. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. You're frozen now. Your
super chat made it go fuzzy.
Yeah, you're completely.
Am I?
Yeah, you're frozen. You're not like, even moving at all.
Frozen completely at like everything. I did excuses. Dave's video is immaculate. I don't want to. Oh yeah. I may have to close out of this and come back in. Dave's gonna have to run the chat for a minute. Is everybody okay with that?
Sure. Let's see what I can do.
Dinner's ready, Suzette. Thank you so much.
Suzette's leaving for dinner.
I may have to jump off of here and jump back on.
I agree with Fred. It's because he's using a Mac.
Oh, shut up.
I'm in like 40 quality. Thank you very much.
My Mac will run circles around any Windows computer.
I need to buy a new computer. I'm surrounded and I can't move. I had to. So when we had the new baby, I had to.
Okay, y'all. I'll be right back. Dave, take it. I'm gonna jump off because it's horrendous.
I am live. Why? So when we got the new baby, I had to get kicked out. I had a little studio set up off of the master bedroom, and the new baby came along, and the new baby's like, "Yo, that's now my room, so you get out." So I'm.
Hey. By the way, if I disconnect here, it may go to a point. Nobody leave the chat, and it may actually, like, Dave, you might have to click something, so just pay attention, okay?
Click something. Okay, great.
It might tell you that it disconnected. I'm not sure, so just keep that in mind.
I don't know if I'm qualified to go clicking.
All right, I'll be right back.
Hello, Lisa. I love that. Is eBay shutting down next month? If eBay shuts down next month, listen, we're all going to have a whole bunch of problems. I'm not even sure I'm qualified to address the problem that would cause. eBay shutting down. I don't know what he was talking about before the computer problem, so I can't go back to. He was lecturing everyone on making sure that you do not spend too much money on inventory. Make sure that you're constantly working to reduce your cost of goods, your cost of inventory. And one of the things that we ran into here when my wife got very active and wanted to start selling on eBay was not looking at the amount of floor space that we had available. And pretty soon the inventory started really taking over our house. And when it's your house, it's one thing, you're paying for it, it makes sense. Some people want to go get a storage unit, and then that inventory that you got for pennies is going to have a carrying cost. Every dime that you spend on storage, whether it's you have to go buy 50 totes and you spend $10 a piece on them, you got to start looking at what that forward looking carrying cost is going to be for your inventory. Am I still? Let's see here. My sales stopped completely 3 days ago. My pricing is good. Description is good. Photos good. I don't know what to do. Have watchers. Well, my question is, have you done a search for the material that you're selling to determine how many people are also selling the same material and to look at that pricing? This goes back to, you have to do a little price comps to make sure that you're in the best space for your pricing against, so what are your descriptions? You're saying your descriptions are good for the products, but are your descriptions correct for the products based on the current pricing? So that's a question only you can answer. My inventory is taken up. Yes, and that was a huge problem for us. After a while, it started to not be very much fun. Like, you couldn't walk in a room without totes being stacked up to the ceiling, and it made it very difficult because it started to consume our lives. We're in here listing at 11 and 12 o'clock at night. You wake up in the morning and you have to pull orders, and you have to dig through buckets to find the stuff that's sold and pack it and ship it, and then you spend the rest of the day listing it. And it was actually starting to take a toll on us. A 40-foot shipping container for my inventory. I hear people live in those, by the way. People buy shipping containers and then turn them into houses. Yeah, so I have like a 200 meg internet connection here in my house, and I have 4 different 5G Wi-Fi. So I'm on a segmented version that no one else in the house is on. So the kids are streaming on their iPads or streaming their music or whatever, and it doesn't affect what I'm doing here. I think this has to do with his thing that he invited me to is the problem that I've got here. My store came to a halt. I changed prices, moved the title words around, tossed more auctions up to pull traffic to you, ran some flash sales. No idea which change what. Right. So there's all these gray areas where eBay says updating your listings may work, it may not. So it was just, a preference of mine that when something ran for 30 days and it didn't sell, we would go in and we would alter the description, maybe remove or add a word to the title, and sometimes that would make it sell. The other thing that causes things not to sell is simply there's too much competition on that product. Right. And that's the thing that you have to look at.
All right, here we go. I reset my router.
You look nice.
Do I look nice on the computer?
Yeah, you're all right. Look, I mean, your picture's good. I mean,
I'm watching us on the video, and it looks really terrible.
Yeah, that's what they were telling me that. So because I'm connected to you, however this works, they're telling me that my video looks terrible.
Your video looks really bad. I think you're the one causing the issues because it happened at your house last week too. So I'm opening it on my phone so I don't use the bandwidth. Something bad going on here.
Last week too.
Yeah, hang on. I got to mute this. Okay. So I actually look clear on my phone. I look clear on the phone. All right, so I'm going to watch the chat on my phone, you guys. Looks better now. Okay, who cares about the video? Let's keep going on. Now the other guys will fit. All right, let's move on now that I can see the chat. So thank you, everybody. Looks better, Dave's fuzzy. Good now, Casey. Yes, I look good.
Yeah, all that matters is Casey looks good. I mean, I'll be fuzzy. I'm fine.
Well, that's usually how life works. I'm usually the one that looks good, and everyone else is just kind of there. So, all right. So where did we leave off? Dare I ask what Dave decided to discuss while I was in my absence?
We were just discussing, carrying costs, inventory costs. I just picked up and added a little bit of what you were saying. Mostly we were discussing what happens when your inventory takes over your house, your inventory stops selling.
Yeah.
What you should do to refresh your listings, add keywords, remove keywords, change your titles a little bit, and monitor those changes every 30 days in cycles. And also go out and make sure that you don't have a ton of competition on the same products. And you might find that's why you're not selling.
Okay, so I want to give everyone a little tip too. I just saw, and he's going to know who I'm talking about. I won't call his name out, but so I just saw a Brooks Brothers dress shirt that when we put down the specifics, like the size and the long, it was like I don't remember, 16.5 large long sleeve. There were 600 of them active, and like 200 of them sold, or like 150 had sold in the last 60 days, which was only 2 per day. And if you add the 200 that had sold plus the 600 that were active, there was 800 total Brooks Brothers 16.5 long sleeves listed in the last 60 days. And only 2 out of 800 a day were selling. So if we do that math, it could take 400 days in theory for your shirt to sell, which is a month or a year and a month, a year and almost 2 months. You're talking about a 14-month turn time on all the Brooks Brothers 16.5 long sleeve shirts that were available. Whatever specifics we had, I don't recall all of them. But when you look at that, when you're out buying an item and you see that only 2 on all of eBay are selling a day and there's 1,800, 1,000 listed, that's probably not a good item to buy. If you are going to buy it, pay cheap, price it cheap, and expect to sit on it for a while. That's it. There's no telling. You could be the lucky guy and yours sells in 2 days, but not always. Just know that it's not always something you can control. The supply and the demand controls what sells on eBay, not because you bought it for $2 and think you got a great deal on it. That's all. So Dave gave me all the dirty secrets. Yeah, 16.5 is a bad size, guys. Usually the 17.5s and up are better. The bigger guys are going to sell. So Adam says, better not list my Brooks Brothers death pile. There's not saying Brooks Brothers is bad, but if you price at the average price, which at this point was like $17 or $19, that's the turn time. If you want to beat that turn time, you've got to go lower. If you're $10 over that, your turn time is going to be 800 days. Just remember that.
We moved when we were selling here. If you'll remember, Lauren Lee got really heavy into only looking for 2X, 3X, and 4X guys stuff. And we were selling like 20, 25 pieces a day when we had the super large sizes. Like large shirts and extra large shirts, they were like, it would take months and months to sell, but you get to 2X. 2X sells a little faster.
Correct.
3X and 4X was like, how do we get more of this? How do I?
Yeah, fire.
Yeah, how do you do it?
Exactly. So when you if you got rid of that large or that extra large size and you were to search the Brooks Brothers 17.5, 18, whatever, the 2X, 3X size, well, there were 300 of those listed and 300 of those had sold in the last 60 days, meaning 5 a day were selling out of 600, almost 10%, 1% a day, 30% a month. Well, now that's only got a 90-day turn time. 90 days, you should sell that entire turn of inventory on eBay. That's much better than 14 months, 3 months, 14 months. So when you start getting those bigger ones, there were some that I saw that there was 100 active and 500 had sold, meaning 500 out of 600 sold every 6 months or every 2 months, 60 days. You're talking about 12 a day selling. The turn time is like literally a month and a half. That's the kind of product you want. I know it's not always available, but those are what you're targeting, not just the sold price. because something could say it's sold for $100, but if only one is sold all year, there's no demand for that item. Supply and demand is just as important as pricing. Keep that in mind. And if you've got 300 or 400 shirts in your store and you're calling me and asking me why you haven't sold one shirt this week, your pricing is wrong and your supply and demand is wrong. Thrilla Gorilla Picker says he buys Omar the tent maker sizes. Did I miss that joke?
That's an old joke.
I don't know who Omar is.
Just a joke about a guy named Omar that makes tents for clothes for people.
Paul DeLeo got 16 Panasonic 13-inch TV VCR combos for $1, and they sell about one every other couple of days. Don't forget to like suckers. Thank you. Yep, Will B says it works both ways. Right. If you've got something that's 30 of them have sold and only a couple active, that means they're selling as fast as people are listing them. Obviously, the rare, unique items, vintage items, those aren't going to count for the normal sell-through rates because they're their own special thing. Somebody says, haven't heard that for a while. I've never heard of Omar the tent maker. I've heard of a lot of things. If you didn't see my Instagram post the other night, I was watching a show on the history of Prohibition and on the 1977 New York City blackout. So I know a little bit about everything. I've never heard of Omar. Sorry about that. Yeah, you could also, as Paul points out very artistically every week, you could certainly start targeting hard goods, which have an automatic better sell-through rate. Clothing is abundantly available. It's great margins, great percent of margins. Typically, you can find it everywhere at a cheap price. But if you start hunting hard goods, which the hard goods is on my BOLO list, that's in the VIP group. It's on the first one. I think there's about 100 items. And I'm going to come out with a specific hard goods only BOLO list for the VIP group soon. One of the perks of getting in there, you can buy the BOLO list separately if you don't want to join the group. Absolutely an option. They're just $10, but I'm going to have another one of those in a week or two just for hard goods. A lot of you guys want to start mixing your store hard goods and clothing. So certainly, you know, a lot of good hard goods that you can find. And I'm asking other sellers and other YouTubers and myself and Dave and everybody to give me you know, some of those good hard goods that are consistent sellers. So we're going to pile that list up and have that ready.
So someone there, the Goings channel said, hard goods are not either. Well, I'm going to give everybody a little tip. When it comes to glass and buying glass at yard sales and reselling it, I'll show you quickly how I can make $10,000 a month off of stuff that I've spent like $2 on, right? So don't get confused when we say hard goods. We're just no longer talking about clothing. If we say electronics, well, that's its own special.
Yeah. Electronics, I don't classify hard goods and electronics as the same. Electronic video games, all on their own. Hard goods, we're talking about glass. We're talking about maybe kitchen appliances and Keurigs and Instant Pots and, you know, maybe lamps and vases and other stuff that people
old hand mixers.
Yeah, the hand mixers are phenomenal. I see a lot of people who sell some vintage knives and they get $50 a knife for knives. They pick, you know, like Cutco knives, the old infomercial knives from, you know, the 90s that people buy at yard sales for a couple bucks and sell them for $40-50. So they're, you know.
Yeah, so at Amazon Seller 99 says colored glass will be worth big bucks, right? And you almost can't go wrong.
Colored glass does well. eBay has a huge niche market for it. Pyrex, Fiesta Ware. I know a girl that sells a couple $1,000s a month in Fiesta Ware. She's just part-time, but literally just from yard sales, she does $3,000 or $4,000 a month in Fiesta Ware only. That's her niche, her specialty. A lot of you guys are trying to get to $3,000 or $4,000 a month, and she does it just on Fiesta Ware. Corning Ware is good. Yep, any of that kind of stuff. Yeah, so Primetime Treasure. Is there any reason I don't sell on Poshmark? Great question. Number one answer, I'm lazy. Number two answer, I don't have experience with it. Number three answer is I'm spreading myself thin already and having, you know, somebody list on eBay, Kate list on eBay for me, then asking her to do Poshmark. I don't know that the extra added spread thin time would make up with the sales. However, a lot of people are doing really good on Poshmark right now. And just recently, they added two huge features that are pretty tempting. One, Dave, listen to this. One is you can do desktop now. But two, you can now go to anybody who watches your item on Poshmark or likes it or whatever and send them an offer rather than them sending you an offer. If somebody likes my Robert Graham shirt for sale and I've got it up for 99 bucks, I can message them and say, hey, I saw you loved my Robert Graham shirt. I'll give it to you for 75 bucks today, free shipping. you can send the customer a best offer. Imagine if every person that looked at your eBay item and liked it, watched it, whatever, you could send them out saying, hey, I'd love to give you a great deal on this. Do you imagine how the power of that, like what kind of power that would have?
No, because really and truly, let's look at the statistic. You put up something, you get like 150 watchers. You've got 4,000 items. When exactly would you have enough? You'd have to have like 50 people helping.
No, you can bulk send it. So you can go into one item, list it. And if tomorrow you wake up with 50 people watching it, with one click, you can send that offer to all 50 people.
Right, and then you're going to do it for your next 3,999 items.
Well, no, you could sit and have somebody send out offers on hundreds of items a day. I think it's powerful.
It would be an all-day job.
Yeah, but if every time they're sending out an offer, they're selling a piece of merchandise, that person that you're paying $10 an hour, $80 a day, all of a sudden you've got 2,000 or 3,000 active items. I don't think hardly anyone has 2,000 or 3,000 active items on Posh, but if they did, somebody could go through in a week, an employee could send out offers on every one of those items. I think it's huge. I think it's game changing for Poshmark. I think it would be interesting to see on eBay. It's pretty cool. So lets the seller send an offer to the customer, send you a message now. I did it yesterday. eBay lets the seller send an offer to a customer. Yeah, you can. There is a way to offer through the customer base on eBay, but it doesn't work like Poshmark's just done. Do I think buying at $1 to sell for 10 or 12 for filler with free shipping, in other words, making about $4 profit is good filler? Yeah, absolutely. It also brings eyeballs into your store. It's actually amazing, Morgan says. Poshmark seems like it's done some really big improving. I also heard that Poshmark does like 10 times the sales they did 2 years ago. They went from what, like 10 million to 40 million to 150 million. So pretty big growth over the course of 3 years for them, 2 to 3 years. Not true. I have 4,000 active on Posh. Siobhan, 4,000 active items on Poshmark is impressive. You should be doing some big numbers. I'd love to see the store. I'll give you some free promo and shout out if I can check out your store. Yeah, so Paul has a good point. eBay does notify your watchers when you reduce a price, but I think Poshmark's little private message personal thing is kind of cool. I'm just going to read through the chat and then we're going to talk a little more. Now, of course, my phone's dying. Thankfully, I brought the charger out for that too. Once somebody creates an app, here you go, Dave, that pulls your eBay listings to Poshmark, it'll be a game changer. Did we not just discuss this 2 nights ago?
Yeah.
This was a talk 2 nights ago.
So here's the reality of that, guys, right? So let's just say I have that app. And I told Casey I've got that. Casey, called me a whole bunch of 4-letter words. Then he came over to my house. I showed him. He went completely bonkers. And how do I get it? You can't, because I paid a guy $100,000 to make it. So,
but not for Poshmark.
Right. So here's the reality to that is nobody's going to make that app and give it away.
No.
And nobody's going to make that app and sell it for $50.
Probably not.
That app's going to be the game changer.
So Adam had a good point. A lot of retailers online, if you put an item in your cart and don't buy it and wait, they'll send you a discount on it if you don't buy it right away. That's pretty good. I've seen that actually happen. I did that on a couple websites that I shop on. How do I stay motivated? Money motivates me.
Yeah,
Samantha, thanks for helping you handle your first negative. You're awesome. You're very welcome. I'm glad they got that removed for you. I saw that email and couldn't respond to it fast enough. So guys, it was that easy. Samantha was having an issue with a buyer and a not as described for a very unique reason being not as described. It had to do with, I won't get into it, but it was not her fault at all. And she was able to contact eBay and thankfully got a good rep who immediately agreed and took it off. And it was that quick, back to 100%. So, if you have a question, usually you can call eBay and get it taken care of. You don't got to call the Rockstar. But if all else fails, feel free to send me an email and I'll try to help you out. That's something we do in the VIP group. You can come in there and post about it. And a lot of people with a lot of experience who have been through those same issues at one point or another in their life. I've been through them all. Trust me. eBay used to not like me. Believe me, eBay used to not like me and I had to fight for a lot of stuff. So that's kind of why I got to where I was, because I had to fight through these weird situations. You can ask Dave. I'd come in there and I'd be like, man, eBay put my account to where I got to like dance in the middle of the street to sign in. Like they're like on me. So remember that, guys. Why don't I dabble in Amazon or FBA private label? I do. We absolutely Amazon single items. Dave does a ton of private label, and I have done my share of private label. I've not been as successful. I've picked some pretty saturated items, but I've done a little bit of private labeling.
So, but the answer to that is it is very scalable. It just takes a whole lot of money. It's not.
It does.
You're not
takes a ton of capital.
For a minimum order for me to do reorders is $30,000-$40,000. Well, when you're going to Salvation Army and Goodwill, thrift stores, you can spend dollars. You can spend a few $100s and just keep your inventory rolling. It takes a long time to get to where you can scale private label.
eBay CS has been better lately. Absolutely. What's an example of everyone's daily schedules? Mine is shipping in the morning. If I'm going out sourcing, that'll be next. And then I will do any listing afterwards. You guys know I work on YouTube typically at night. The live shows, the videos are up typically late. So that's kind of my nighttime routine. I've been recently doing some one-on-one calls on the video side with people in the VIP group. So kind of splitting my day between that. For most people, I think it's shipping in the morning. And then if they have a listing in death pile, they list the rest of the day photographing. You should, mark off a half an hour to do your accounting and bookkeeping and keep track of what you've done. I've been away from eBay for 15 years, started selling again. How long does it take to establish to where I can have a store? You can get a store on day one. If you're talking more of established to get some sales, it's going to take you a couple weeks of solid listing and building and getting the store ready. But you can go from zero to something on eBay in the first month. You're not going to make $1 million, but you can certainly start making some money. It takes years. Yes. The Goins channel, it doesn't take years. I've seen people go from a couple $100 a month to $10,000 a month in 6 months. I've seen people with a little bit of capital go to it in 3 months. So it can take years if you're slow, but if you have a little money, a little capital, a little time, you can get to several $1,000s a month pretty quick. Star does photos and shipping first and then back end and YouTube later. Is there a way to see custom SKU on the app? I don't believe so. You have to go desktop with that. Conservative ticket went from 0 to 13.5 in 1 year. It is doable. It does take a little money. If all you have is a few $100 or $1,000 or $2,000, then you're probably only going to get to a couple $1,000s. If you've got 10 grand to spend, then certainly. I have a question from outside of YouTube on social media I want to read here live on the show. And it says, I have a reseller telling me that you can't sell stuff on Amazon, new stuff on Amazon, without holding on to receipts. I've never heard that. That is not completely true. I have sold plenty of brand new video games, brand new things. If an item is gated, and it could be new or used for that matter, you have to have invoices, not receipts. Jason, if you are listening to the show, I don't know if you are, you do not have to hold your receipts. He says his Amazon was shut down. I'd have to see why.
So the question is, does that fall under that pawn law? Because I got to be honest, I don't know because I'm not out buying stuff, retail arbitrage. So is it possible that somebody sold something new and somebody said, there's no way you can have that, and called Amazon, and Amazon said to him, I need to see your receipt where you bought it?
Yeah.
And when he couldn't produce the receipt,
it could be a problem.
Well, you could have a problem. That's right.
Mm-hmm. I think if you buy it, and rule of thumb is if you're buying something, especially as a reseller, depending, pawn shop or wholesale or pallet or whatever, you need to have a bill of sale, a purchase, a receipt, an invoice, a PO, something showing, hey, I bought this from Groupon. Hey, I bought this from, Amazon. I bought this from a pawn shop. Whatever it is, you need some proof of where you got it. Depending on where you got it, and the receipt may determine whether you lose your Amazon account or not. But literally, I've never had a lot of the issues that I hear people tell me about Amazon. My biggest issue is buying stuff that's gated, and I just can't get Amazon to ungate me, which is a pretty big problem for everyone. I mean, if it's gated, it's gated. I don't usually invest a ton of time in getting ungated. But as far as losing my account, that's a whole nother story.
Mr. Cheese would like to know the best place to purchase bulk electronics, Mr. Rockstar.
Woo, bulk electronics, not from bulk. Let's clear that out of the way. Not from liquidation either, trust me. I mean, you could certainly try to contact. The problem with bulk electronics is most of the places that do it require quite a bit of capital. If you have the capital or you don't think it's a problem, I mean, you can contact anybody from Walmart, Target, Best Buy on up to GameStop, really, to buy wholesale. I mean, they all have, you know, companies or third parties or other places you can go to buy that stuff. Simple Google searches for whatever company. I don't know what company, you know, I don't know if you want to buy TVs or you want to buy PlayStations or video games or GoPro cameras or what, but, you know, select the right store for that type of merchandise and just Google up, you know, Target bulk pallets, Target bulk wholesale. You will find everything that you need for each individual store. They all have companies that handle the liquidations for them. Joel says he respects and appreciates me, but really stoked to see Dave back on YouTube. I feel a little hurt by that. I feel a little hurt by that, Joel.
Well, I'm going to address Mr. Cheese here for the second time. I'm not going to say your name out loud. Okay, I have children. I don't find it amusing, and so I just had to shorten it down to answer your question. So that was it.
Oh, Jason, who asked the Amazon question. Jason, email me all the details of the Amazon situation to rockstarflipper@gmail.com. I'll take a quick look. I can't promise you anything, but Amazon kicking you off, they sent you a reason or there was a specific, just telling me that you didn't have a receipt doesn't really give me enough information. But if you email it to me, I'll be happy to look at it for you. Mr. Cheese, Dave doesn't find your name amusing, which is rare because he finds everything amusing. So
Actually, I do. And I am very amused by it, I have to be honest. But for the sake of my 4-year-old running behind me any second now, got to save that one for you, buddy. Appreciate it.
Okay, so hold on. Amazon sellers and stuff. Amazon is slowly squeezing out RA sellers. They want authorized sellers or private label. Yeah, I agree, Paul, and Amazon sellers as well. Does a money receipt work if you're buying a new product from someone with cash and have the seller sign it? So Restless Carnage asked a great question, and I'm going to call out Rally Roots on this, and only because it turned out positive for them. If you buy new merchandise with cash, if you are meeting somebody on Craigslist or out in town and they're selling you brand new product and you buy it from them in cash, assume you're buying some shady merchandise to start with. Anybody selling you brand new merchandise is not going to sell it to you out of the trunk of a car in cash. Second of all, if you get a receipt from them and Mr. Shady Trunk of the Car dealer wants to sign said receipt and even gives you his fake ID that he most likely has, if the police come to your building and find that you have 50 brand new sealed iPads that you bought from Mr. Shady Trunk seller guy, they are going to take said iPads if they are shady. You having a receipt may or may not keep you out of jail, but it's certainly not going to keep you out of losing your $10,000 or your 100 iPads or whatever the case may be. Trust me. Now, the reason I'm going to call out Rally Roots is they went through a similar situation. You guys saw their video on it about the Beats headphones that he bought from a guy in cash, had the guy sell him and sign the receipt. It kept Ryan out of jail, but guess what he lost? Hey, those Beats headphones were seized. I think he had actually sold a couple pair and got his money, but all the remaining inventory was taken. So please, guys, if somebody offers you 100 Beats headphones out of the trunk of a car, be careful, please.
Well, even if it isn't that case, the chances of them being knockoff
or that's
a whole nother.
Don't forget, people open up kit boxes and take the iPad and fill the iPad with a brick and then seal the box back up with a shrink wrap because the shrink wrap machine's like $99.
You know our favorite story, when people start talking about Beats headphones, I bought, I don't know, let's just say it was 800 pair of them. Now, it was through a distributor. We put them up for sale, and it was around the time of year where people were buying my Beats, taking the good ones out, put their broken ones back in the box, and would return them to us.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And these were when these things were like $300 a pair. It was quite shocking to see what was going on.
Oh, yeah. Trippa, they didn't take that video down. They took the video down about the Kindles. That was separate. The Beats headphones was one of their old videos. If you search their YouTube channel by most popular, it has like a ton of views. You'll see it. It's at the top. Somebody said he bought a carload of tools from a crack addict all hot. I don't recommend it, guys. Don't let the greed take over, because one slip up, one bad thing, one reported item, and all that greed and $10,000 in profit you made are going to have to go to a $100,000 lawyer to keep you out of jail or keep you from getting sued. Just keep that in mind. Just be very careful on Craigslist, OfferUp, Let Go, Facebook yard sale groups. Amazing place to meet mom and dad and buy college daughters Victoria's Secret and Abercrombie clothes. Not so good to buy a pallet full of iPads. Just keep that in mind. People with the money to have wholesale connections to sell that sort of merchandise are probably not on Craigslist looking to sell it for $500 in cash quick. It's typically criminals, almost always criminals. Yeah, the Rally Roots is called Almost Went to Jail video. You can get the explanation there. They've already got like 1 million views on that video, so I'm just promoting it more. But it's true. It is so true. If it's too good to be true, it usually is. And trust me, back in the day, 22-year-old Casey said, woo, gonna make $1,000 today. Cross town I went, and I did it. I didn't know any better. 32-year-old Casey, I'd rather be poor and eat tuna fish this weekend.
And not sit in jail.
Not sit in jail eating the tuna fish sandwiches they serve. Yeah.
And then there's the side of this that, you know, it's not even about what happens when I bought 1,000 pair of Beats headphones through a not so reputable guy. I don't know he's not, right? He shows up, he buys them, and I'm like, hey, Casey, look at this deal. It's 1,000 pair. It's unbelievable. We got a good deal. And then Apple shows up with their attorneys. That's not even like the point we're getting at. There's a point where it can get so big, the police are like, we're out. And then the FBI shows up, then Apple shows up, and then you have to write checks for hundreds of thousands of dollars
to stay out of jail.
To not go to jail. That's right.
Right. All money is not good money. Somebody said it. I think Adam or somebody else said
correct.
It. But Adam said that he bought a mini fridge off of a college student's mom for $40. Listen, buy all the mini beer fridges you want off of there. I'm pretty sure they're not stolen.
Yep, Jeff just lost all the back of his truck sales. Sorry, Jeff. We just told everybody on you.
Yeah, Jeff, you don't want to end up on live PD because I think they're in your area. Jeff's just up north of us here on the East Coast. What time is best time to list an item? No best time, all day. You should be listing every day, all day. But if you have to pick a time, Sundays are really good sales days. Tuesdays, for some reason, on eBay's sliding scale seem to be good days. Just always listing. Don't wait to list an item for the perfect time. If you've got time to list, list. You're not selling anything if it's not up. If you're sitting around waiting for Tuesday afternoon to list all your crap, stop. List. Just get up and list. Got to go, Dominic. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for being here. Yeah, right now is a good time to list, but here we are. The only time that's a bad time to list on eBay is Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. Horrible. Nothing will sell that you list between 9 and 10 p.m. on Thursdays. Just a thought. Tuesday's a dead day for Star. I do well on Tuesdays. I do really bad on Fridays. Resellers who don't make listings are just shoppers. Fred Hutchinson, great point. Fred sells a lot of stuff. Listen to what he says. He sells like 30,000 a month or something along those crazy lines. Sunday is the proven best day to end auctions. Absolutely.
I bought seafood out of a guy's trunk. Big mistake. Yeah, you think?
I bought seafood out of one of those white vans. Even worse mistake. After they brought me back, the seafood was gone. Wayne Ram. Oh, everyone who asked about the VIP group, you have to send an email to rockstarflipper@gmail.com. Tell me you want to join the VIP group. I will take care of it tonight. I'll clear emails again. If I don't get it tonight and I fall asleep, I will get it first thing tomorrow. And that leads up to the next question about, do I ever get burned out? Burned out of working? Yes. Burned out of you guys? No. You guys are the best. It's cool. I love the Thursday show.
We don't get burned out of making money.
No, I never get burned out of making money, which is how I don't get burned out of working. I love the part of work where I get to sit down on Thursday and come on live and talk to you guys. I love doing the video calls I've been doing the last couple of weeks. They've been awesome, meeting you guys one-on-one. For those of you that don't know, when you're part of the VIP group, you get to do a one-on-one call with me. I'll go over your store. I'll look at everything. I'll help you out. I'll give you tips. I'll do whatever you want to talk about. If you want to talk about the Jets being a terrible football team, sorry, Gary V, we'll talk about that. Whatever it is you want to talk about, we'll sit down and talk about on a one-on-one call. But this is part of my job that's relaxing. It's cool. It's fun. It's getting to connect. It's not looking up prices and taking photos and listing and sourcing and answering dumb eBay messages and checking on feedback and calling eBay. That stuff, I hate that stuff. But it's my job and it makes me money and I like that. So I have to do that. But coming on to talk to you guys are a piece of cake. Jason, thank you for the email.
The Goings channel. I'm going to question what you just said.
What'd they say?
Will too. You just removed it. I didn't even get that. I read it. I mean, I could say it. He said, I know an Apple distributor that sells iPads for $190. And I was about to say, I've never met an Apple distributor. So if you've got something to include, me and him are all ears, buddy.
Yeah, no kidding, right? My email is down below. You can always contact me down below, but rockstarflipper@gmail.com is the direct email. David, I'll take care of that for you. Everyone emailing me asking for requesting to get in, I will handle it all after the live show. Lance Wilson in the VIP, Res Goods Resale. Welcome in, Lance. First time live. Father Son Treasures, $10 super chat. Better week this week. Great job, you guys. Terry, Father and Son's Treasures up in Chicago. Stay warm, both of you. We'll talk soon. I know your store's doing a little better. Hopefully those pricing and listing tips helped you guys out. If you need something, just please message or email me.
Lisa, nice, Lisa. I like it. I like that.
Lisa says the next 15 will go towards the VIP group. That's very sweet. Thank you, Lisa. And just let me know whenever you're ready. It is 15 well spent because I will cause you first day to sell more than the $15 you're going to spend. Whatever I give you in the very first day we talk, you will make up for it. I promise you. Adam's still talking about his mini beer fridge. I'm not sure if he's had too many of the beers out of it, but he's still talking about his best $40 ever spent. I'll go with that $40 forever. Are sales slow for anyone right now? Indiana Flippers. Email me the store name. Join the VIP group. I'll take a look at it. If sales are slow and you have good listings and good items, your prices are too high. We started the chat about it. I'm going to end the chat about it later. Prices are too high. Everyone who has dropped prices, and people are going to yell, hey, I only profited $3. That means you bought it for too much money. And if you only spent $1 or $2 on it, then you bought a bad item. Just saying. I'm guilty of it too. Absolutely guilty of it. Heather Reynolds enjoying the show tonight. Thank you. You're very welcome. I'm glad that I bring value to the show.
And Noelle said she lost her six-figure job this week. Very, very sad to hear that for you. Very sorry. Very sorry to hear
Noelle Larson lost a six-figure job. Well, you know what? Turn your online, social media, eBay business into six figures. They serve bologna on white bread in New York. I'm assuming he means a bologna on white bread in New York jails. That's probably not good.
Paul, I don't hang on to anything. If I can sell it, I sell it. I get the money back. I buy something else. That's just me.
Yeah, I'm with that. But Paul, I know, has the ability to sit on inventory. Paul, that's going to come into your threshold of whether you want to wait 6 months or 8 months to sell something. For sure. Res Goods Resale. Love the VIP group. Thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate that. Means a lot, Lance. Really, really appreciate having you in there. It's awesome. Indiana Flippers has shirts up for $4. Yeah, if your items are all under $10, I can't really yell at you to lower your prices. If you've got stuff at $30, $40, $50, then you probably need to consider looking at them. Also think about the season. If you have a really great Harley jacket for $100, raise your hand. And it hasn't sold in 3 months, continue raising your hand. And it's now going to be summer where no one's going to buy it. Keep raising your hand. And if you should lower the price, the price of the Harley jacket because you haven't sold it, raise your hand. Because you only paid $15 for it, and you should probably just let it sell for $60 or $70. Keep raising your hand. Yes, my Harley jacket is $100, and I won $100. Darn it! I won $100.
Just keep it, right?
Yeah. I could hold it until, fall weather. When is the bike show in Daytona?
Isn't that spring break?
Isn't that coming up?
April?
I should raise the price of my Harley jacket.
What you should do is wear it, put a for sale sign on it, go over there, walk around with it, and I bet you get more than $100 for it.
I'm not driving 2.5 hours to sell a Harley jacket, or 3 hours. Melissa, the VIP group, Max, email me, rockstarflipper@gmail.com. It is $15 a month, $99 for the rest of 2018. Lots of awesome things, including Bolo List and talking to me. It's coming up, Casey. I thought so. Fireside sold their Harley jacket to Norway using global shipping. I have global shipping on too. Maybe someone in Norway will buy mine.
Mike
Price high and let it fly.
Mike C's question, Casey. Quick question. If I sell an item with a 30-day guarantee, buyer says it doesn't work, I will give full refund with no return required. Does that affect my performance?
I sell item, buyer says it doesn't work, I give full refund with no. If you refund and you didn't require them to return it, it will not hurt you. The only way it hurts you is if you don't respond to a return request, or if you ship late, or don't answer, or if you cancel an order without being able to fulfill it. Just refunding somebody or even having them return it and refund will not hurt you. It'll cause your refund rate or your return rate to go up, but it won't hurt you. I saw some other great questions. How to change good with canceled till 30 days. You have to end them. So typically I'll wait to their last day, end them, and then redo it. Bike week is in March, so coming up. People up north buy Harley jackets year round. Well, somebody needs to buy mine. It's a woman's one.
Do you ever get sob stories to get a lower price?
All the time. All the time. I got a sob story.
I fall for it, and I give it to them.
I have to. I got the sob story that I think everybody gets, that their child is in the hospital sick with like cancer or something. I've gotten that. And I'm never going to question somebody whose child potentially has cancer. But
over $5.
I got to be honest. Huh?
Oh, well, they just want $5 off. And I'm like,
I got to be honest.
really?
They're trying to buy a shirt for like $20. Right. And they wanted it for like $10 or $15. And fine, like, great, I'll give you a deal, whatever. But you come into my store 3 months later trying to buy something else and your child has cancer. Now, I know cancer doesn't go away in 3 months, but is that all you're doing while your child is in the hospital with cancer, is shopping on eBay? I'm no one to question anyone, but I think that my focus and attention would be on my child and not eBay shopping for a Nintendo t-shirt. I remember the shirt clear as day. It was literally a Nintendo t-shirt. It was just weird. And so I'm sure, you know, not to mention if I went on eBay and I had a child that was sick with cancer, I don't know that I would try to use that as a sob story to get cheaper stuff. I just don't know how one correlates to the other. I know it's a financial burden.
They were trying to buy the shirt for the child because it would give them a moment of joy.
Right.
And they didn't have any money. And so I just give them the item. Like,
I did.
Here, let me just ship the item to you because clearly you need this more than I do.
I gave her the discount on the Nintendo shirt. I think the second time around I didn't. I wasn't sure anymore. I'm like, I just didn't respond, and somebody actually bought it a couple hours later. I know a lot of people tell me if somebody's coming on eBay and claiming to have sick children, or they're waiting on their paycheck in 2 weeks, like, why are they on eBay shopping? Do they not have money? I tend to agree with that. We all do it. We spend money we probably shouldn't, but you know, there's priorities. And if you're that broke that a $10 shirt, you can't pay for it, maybe you shouldn't be on eBay. Whether you have a sick child or not, you know, I feel for everyone that has a child with issues or anything. Even Dave has spent, and I'm not going to say anything people don't know, Dave has spent time in a hospital with a sick child that has cost not tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I feel for anyone at any income level. But when it comes to the people that email me and tell me they don't get paychecks for a month from now, I don't feel bad for you. You don't have a sick child. You're just waiting on a paycheck. You probably shouldn't be on eBay spending money, and you have priorities, and it's not a $10 Nintendo shirt. Just my thought. Anyways.
I agree with those thoughts.
Yep. But if you email me and tell me you have a sick child, good night to Just 10 Pac-Man. I'll probably give you a discount. I'm going to get like 47 best offers tonight. You know that, right?
I would end up giving the item. I would just like, here, just I'll give it to you at that point, because it affects me directly. So it's different for Casey than me. And at that point,
I have given away an item.
You gave me an item one time.
I've given away multiple. But I have also given away an item to a random customer who I knew through another person who was on eBay looking for certain things for a child. And it wasn't a sick child. It was, I want to say it was an adopted child, or the family lost everything in a fire. There was something. I don't recall that exact thing, but I recall the person. And I had some of those items on eBay, and I went ahead and just gave those items away. I told him to go on eBay, and I created the private links, and I just made them 99 cents with free shipping, and I just let them buy them all for like $3. So it was like 3 items. And so that I have done, absolutely. Any autoclave repair experts got an offer for $2,000 and need yours? Wait, you sold it broken in the hopes that you could find a repair guy because you could get $2,000 for it. So you're going to pay. Yeah, I'll fix it for $1,900. When is Drive Time coming back to YouTube? Can we get off the Drive Time?
I'm here.
Is this YouTube? Is this Drive Time? Can we get off the whole Drive Time? He's not really that great.
You haven't even told him, all these people, all these nice people, to come and check my Drive Time with Dave channel out. You haven't said it once. I want to hear you say it. I want to see what it looks like when your lips say those words.
The guy on the video has a YouTube channel. You should probably check it out. Anybody else? I want to make sure the point of this channel is to answer questions. If you guys have them, put them in the chat. Drive Time does have a YouTube channel. I'll link it after the video. I can't do it now. Drive Time with Dave. Google it, YouTube search it.
YouTube, type in Drive Time with Dave.
Drive Time with Dave. It comes right up. You'll see his big ugly mug. It'll be right there, right in your face with some sunglasses.
Wow, wait a minute.
Eric, a long-time viewer. Eric says, I scored big time on 500 pre-owned key fobs. Deciding to list bulk and be done individual for $10 or $15 each. What would you do? Eric, what did you do a lot?
Well, are you talking about key fobs, like different types of key fobs for automobiles?
Car key fobs.
Because I'm going to go with double your price.
Yeah. Some of those things can sell used for $30, $40.
Yeah, that's way too cheap right there, right?
I just got called a hater.
Really? Dave, looks like you need your hater blockers on. Yeah, he is. Is
Dave going to eBay Open? No, he will not go to Vegas. He's at Vegas.
I'll go. Did I get invited? Listen, last year I was like, am I invited? And eBay's like, no.
No. Eric paid $1 a piece for the key fobs. Brother, you paid $500. It sounds to me like you can get your money back in like 15 of them. I would start listing. Sounds like you got homework to do this weekend. So Dave, I had an offer for you out of California, but I wanted to know if you wanted to pony the money up. I'm going to do a business pitch for you guys live on the YouTube channel. Dave, I know where we can buy 15,000 zippers and listen to me, and 100,000 buttons for a shirt. 115,000 units for $2,000 plus shipping from California, which is going to be about $1,000. So $3,000 for 115,000 button and zippers.
Well, what's going to be our return on our investment?
I don't have a damn slightest idea. Clue. Ooh, don't demonetize me, YouTube. I do not know.
Well, what's our turn time going to be?
Huh?
What's our turn time going to be?
About 12 years.
Now, and are these going to be mixed colors? Because
everything.
That's going to be, if you had to sort that many by size and color, this sounds like a bad investment.
Somebody said, what are the brands of the zippers and buttons? Does it matter?
It does. I got to be honest, it does. Because could you imagine if somebody's like, hey, I got 100,000 Armani buttons.
We'd probably be on a plane or get a U-Haul out to California for that.
I don't know how. I don't think 100,000 buttons is going to fit in a very large container. We'd be okay with shipping.
Calvin says I'm all in. Let's do it.
Yeah, you're kidding, right?
In case anybody's interested in 115,000 button and zippers, I got an inside source on them, and I've seen them photographed in the back of a truck. Like I'm talking the back of a truck stacked as high as your house. It was ridiculous.
That's an interesting question. eBay is keeping my listings up when they sell, saying I'm out of inventory. I delete them, and it seems to be a negative impact on my rating. I heard something about that a few years ago.
Yeah, this was an eBay glitch. Whoever wrote that needs to call eBay, and eBay can manually remove them out of the inventory. Elena says she got flagged for an offline transaction by eBay for ending an auction early so the buyer can bundle. Should I call eBay before I end any more listings? Yeah, give them a heads up. If you've already been flagged and they're probably looking at you, I would call and tell them what you did, because technically you didn't do the transaction off of eBay. You simply bundled the two items. What you should have done is had the buyer buy both of them, and if you were giving them a discount, just issued them a partial PayPal refund. That would have been your best bet. But now they're watching you since they flagged you. Call them and give them a heads up. Curtis says he doesn't want to list 160 ties. He couldn't imagine 100,000 items. If we all pull our money, listen, it's only $3,000. It's really not, I could make the purchase. I'm just wondering if you want to invest in the manual labor it's going to take to list them.
I like his idea. If we all pool our money, I'm only going to have to put in about 30 cents.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, I'm only going to make about 30 cents.
I'll make Drive Time a deal. I will buy the merchandise if you pay for the labor to list it.
No, yeah, exactly. You're going to try to hook me on the inventory, the sorting, the listing, and the shipping. I know what you're going to do. I don't think so.
I'll put the $3,000 out to get it shipped here.
Yeah.
It's going to show up to 7-7, not here, by the way.
I don't think so.
That's a no from me. Hook me up on ResGoods. YKK is the best zippers. I don't know if the manifested seller is going to manifest me 100,000 zippers. I'm going to go with probably not. I know the seller personally. I don't know him as a friend, but I know exactly who he is. I know I've seen the pictures. The merchandise is all good. The count is good. He wanted to sell it locally in Southern California. I think San Diego or LA, but which I have a connection in LA. Megan, if you're watching, you don't watch my videos anymore. Megan, go pick up zippers and buttons. Anyways, I thought it was an interesting offer.
Nike Boxes says I'm in LA and we got so many zippers here.
Nike's in LA. Listen, I can give you the address to pick them up. They were for sale last night. I didn't respond though. I told him I was interested. I actually did. I said I might be. And he goes, you know what the shipping is going to cost? I'm like, more than the zippers. Yeah. TKO doing the sales on the weekends is working on the hard goods. Good job, bud. YKK is on the zipper pool. Yeah, it'll say YKK written on the side there. You know, if you could find some Robert Graham or some Wrangler buttons, those would probably be worth money.
Yeah, imagine Wrangler would probably be really good.
Yeah, the Wrangler, the pearl snaps would be good. The Western wears, any of the Tommy Bahamas with the little palm trees on them. I mean, who knows? 100,000 buttons. Can you imagine what's in there? Yeah, we get 100,000 white ones. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. That he printed, you know, on some machine he's got in the back of his warehouse.
Yeah. Buttons sell good, zippers not. Indiana Flippers. I have no less than a dozen people in the VIP group that are from Indianapolis. I talked to 2 of them tonight, Thrifty Nichols in Indianapolis, just outside of Indianapolis in horse country. Several people tonight in Indianapolis. So, yeah, there's a lot of you guys. Freight shipping's not that expensive. You can ship a full pallet across the country for $400. Yeah, Fred, this is like 3 pallets of buttons and zippers. I'm not kidding when I tell you he's got a box, say twice the size of a large flat rate that's opened up full of buttons. He's got 8 of those stacked high, like 10 rows back. I'm telling you, it's 100,000 or 115,000 buttons and 15,000 zippers. It's insanity. Eric, nice job. Eric already sold $318 in promoteds, and he sold $300 in the key fobs individually. That answers your question, Eric. Sell those things individually. Jeez. YKKs are legit. How much can you sell a YKK zipper for? $10? I mean, I don't even know.
Jordan Jones, do you take additional measurements on items you've listed when a customer requests? It adds up to a lot of extra work with 500 plus listings.
I have an opinion on that, but no one likes my opinion.
My opinion is we would do the measurements and put them in the original listing. And typically when people request that additional information, we go, we've already supplied with what we were capable of supplying.
Right. So if you have 500 listings and it takes you 1 minute to do the measurements, well, that's going to take you 500 minutes or almost, you know, what, 7-8 hours. No, am I right? Yeah, 7 or 8 hours. if you only responded to the questions that you got and you only got 20 or 30 questions, you could do it in less than an hour. So your time is worth it. Take your time. Although women's clothing, you'll get a bunch of questions. Fred is shipping 78 VCRs to one customer on a pallet this weekend, or this week. Promoted listings do help sales somewhat. Do I know anyone selling full pallets on eBay? Selling them on eBay? Yeah, they're pallets for sale on eBay. If you're talking about buying pallets to sell on eBay, we discussed it a little bit ago, but you can Google any store's name, Target, Walmart, Best Buy, Newegg, Overstock, and then just write pallet, bulk pallet purchase, wholesale pallet purchase, whatever. You'll find it. Candace does, a lot of people do measurements, especially on women's and plus size clothing for all items. Absolutely. We don't do it on guys. Select Treasures Reseller. We can help you sell clothing. Email me. Most pallets are going to run you around $1,000 to buy, give or take the merchandise.
Anybody having a problem selling clothing should move to join the VIP resellers group immediately and start scheduling to get him one-on-one so he can help you fix these listings. Because that's really all your problem is. I got to be honest.
Every one of these calls, 99% of them are things that I can figure out in the first 15 minutes. And in 15 minutes, I can get you back to work on what to fix. And hopefully it will, it'll turn your sales around immediately. First couple of days a week. It's pretty easy to pick out, whether your photos are bad or whether your pricing is bad or whether you just have bad merchandise. If it's already bad merchandise, we can't fix that. You got to go buy new stuff. But if it's a pricing issue or a listing or a title or a photo issue, it's pretty easy to find. And sometimes when you're on the inside looking at it, you don't see it. But when I'm on the outside looking in at you, I certainly can see what's up with it. So we'll definitely be happy to help you. Rockstarflipper@gmail.com.
Hey, Rebecca, if someone accused you of selling a fake, you should just apologize about 1,000 times and refund their money, because if it goes any farther than between you and them, you're going to have a huge house. eBay takes that like it's crazy. They take it so seriously. You can lose your account because someone's
copyright and fraud, fake stuff is like the worst words that eBay can hear. Offer to take it back for a full return and refund immediately. And if it turns out it's real later, sell it to someone else. If they don't want to return it, just refund them and be done with it. Like done. Okay. I did not I did not come and play on the Reseller Life vlog. I have missed it. I was busy and I try to get to as much stuff as I can. You guys know that I will make it to as much as I can if possible. I would love to join you another time. Reseller Life vlog. You guys can check that out. I'll try to get links for you guys. I have links. I'll try to link them for you afterwards. Jamie Pace in the house. Hopefully your little boy is doing better, Jamie. Jamie had a problem that the real world will step outside of reselling. His son was taken to a hospital that does not accept his insurance, even though he pays for insurance for his son. He got charged up a huge medical bill. Dave, what do you do in that case? I don't know the answer to that question.
Oh, they have to take it. I mean, they will.
No, they treated his son, but now they're billing him because
and then you submit the bill to the insurance company yourself. You have to be very proactive. You're gonna have to call your insurance company. Here's the bill, and then you'll be able to connect the billing admins at the hospital with your insurance company. They'll work it out. It will be taken care of. Don't take the no for an answer. Don't do that. You have to work with them to do
Jamie, listen, I don't have kids. I don't know the answer, so there's your answer.
Yeah,
Noam is the
my wife is like an expert at that.
Dave's up to 5, so at some point he's got a little experience. Noam, VIP Reseller World. Our time is out. A Mint Icon 1000 motorcycle jacket. If you do have something rare like that, stick to your guns on the pricing. Someone will buy it. Going channel back. What's the best way to sell costume jewelry? I'm going to promote somebody. Thrifty Tanya's Treasures. She's from Texas. Tanya's Treasures. You can look her up. I think she's in my followers or recommended. Awesome channel on costume jewelry. Dave is by trade a seller. He sells other stuff that's way outside of the normal realm. He also does some repair work. He doesn't just sell what he does. He also fixes it. I am mainly a seller. I also do, of course, YouTube. I have some affiliate links, some other things I sell. So I have a little mix of stuff, but mostly a seller, yes.
I actually don't know anything. I won the lottery, and I just enjoy being on these videos with Casey.
If only that were true, because every time I've talked to you trying to win the lottery, it's been for $300 million. Isn't the lottery at $300 million right now?
It doesn't even matter.
Thrifty Nickel is your indie connection. If you guys want to do that meetup, get in touch with Thrifty Nickel. She's on Instagram at the same name. What a great show. Thank you, Thrifty T. Appreciate it. If you sell private label and replenishables, Joel Hart, is the VIP group a good fit for you? Drive Time with Dave would be a good fit for you for private label and replenishables.
I think the VIP reseller group's a good fit for anybody, because at some point there is a chance that Casey's going to go, he's asking me a question, and I'm just going to come and answer it. I mean, I'm in the group, and I'll see if somebody's in that group and they post a question, 10 people are going to go, just message me and I'll answer it.
Right.
You might not like the answer, but I will certainly answer.
Have I ever sold a Rolex on eBay? I have not. I have seen plenty sold. I've sold a lot of watches, but not Rolex. I've tried to buy Rolexes, but they're kind of hard to buy to resell. People want a lot of money.
And now I think you have to have
be approved for designer.
Yeah, you have to have some really special account with eBay to be able to put up.
Well, you can sell one a month of designer items until you get that special account, right? And don't get caught selling a fake one or iffy one, because you'll never get your eBay account back ever. Best advice for new seller: what to buy? Good items. Don't buy junk. Buy stuff people want.
Buy your BOLO list.
Yes.
And then you'll know what to buy. There you go.
I do, and I hate to push it, but listen, half the problem, I told you guys, photos, titles, prices. The other half, buying junk. Don't buy junk. Please don't buy junk. How did the son surgery go? They're talking about Jamie's. We have 11 adult Danes and 11 puppies. He breeds Great Danes for a living.
And you make plenty of money. That's amazing. Congratulations.
Northern discount. Yes. Require signature on $750 and over. I start requiring signature when it becomes 3 digits. If I sell something for 100 or more, you are going to have to sign for it. It is worth my $2.50.
We're being asked what the BOLO list is.
Armando, I have created the first one was 275. It shouldn't have been that big. I gave you guys too much. But 275 items of some of the best brands of clothing, some of the best video games and best stuffed animals, best hard goods, everything I could think of, all in one nice, clean PDF. I'm going to be creating other ones for specialty categories. This one's $10. If you join the VIP for 15, in addition to that, you get everything else. But I can mail you the BOLO, just one and done, or you can join the group. Up to you. Rockstarflipper@gmail.com. Let me know which one you want. I'll be happy to help you tonight. A BOLO is... Yeah, whoever said that, Jordan, be on the lookout. It's just really great brands. Everything I'm getting for it is coming from myself and Dave and other big sellers that have a lot of experience. Guys, I've been selling on eBay for 12 years. I met Dave 12 years ago, and I was selling Magic cards on eBay. So 12 years
we met, and I laughed, and I said, are you ready to actually make some money? And he goes, I heard ready to make money. And I'm like, let's do it. And that was it. That's it.
Yeah, so I was making, at 21 years old, I was making 20, God, I just told him my age. At 2021, I was making like $300, $400 a week selling Magic cards in 2005. So remember that. I've been doing this as long as most of you have even known eBay has existed. So hopefully I know a little bit. I'm forgetting a lot. I'm getting old. But
you come into my office and you're like, I've got an opportunity. And I said, well, then you're going to need to sit down and explain it. And he sat down and he goes, listen, I could buy like, I want to say it was like 3,000 or 4,000 Magic cards.
It was a collection.
I got to be honest, listen, I didn't know what a Magic card was. And he goes, it's going to be like $2,000. And I was like
a buck a piece or something.
Right. I'm like, well, so what are you going to make? And he goes, well, I think I'm going to sell these things for like $4 a piece or something. I'm like, so you're going to take 2 and turn it into 4. How quickly? He goes, oh, well, I'll just post them all and they'll all sell. And by Friday, you'll have all the money. And I was like, oh, well, all I heard is I'll have money back in 5 days, $2,000. And he's like, can I just split it with you? Absolutely. $1,000. And that's how he went from Magic the Gathering to, well, we had to clean the warehouse one time. We had to rent a dumpster because, you know, there was a whole lot of junk buying at one time. We're skipping all that now. We're going right to the BOLO list. We know what to buy so we can sell it and make money, and we don't end up with a whole bunch of garbage.
Yeah, I remember a time in the warehouse, me and my dad were fighting that day, and I sold one of those giant steamers, and we were fighting over how to box that thing up.
Yeah.
And it still had water in the reservoir, and I didn't empty it, and it ended up pouring out and ruining the box. And that's the point my dad said, "You don't even know what you're doing." And I said, "I'll show you."
I think he's still, he still may be right.
He may be right, yeah. My 63-year-old father may be right that I have no clue what I'm doing. But anyways, Curtis makes 6 figures on Great Dane breeding. Y'all, Rockstar Dane Breeder just became a new YouTube channel. All right. Rebecca has 20,000 magic cards. Dave, you want to get in the magic card flipping business?
Oof. Man,
Drummer, I never got approved for merch by Amazon. They hate me.
What's considered a good sell-through rate? What's a good target to shoot for? You know what? It's not a sell-through rate. It's how good your products are, how good your pricing, your listings, your titles, your descriptions, the same thing over and over. How good your material? There's only one way. I'm starting to sound like an infomercial. You wouldn't ask that question if you were either in the group or bought the list. We could eliminate a lot of the same questions, I could tell you.
What can someone do if their account is suspended? That's tough. You got to call eBay and pray. It's hard.
How did you and Dave meet? There it is.
Oh, how do we meet? Oh, my God.
I can tell you how we met. So Casey's dad.
I met Dave out back of a shady business.
Listen, his dad was in construction. I've told this story like on 60 videos. His dad was in construction, and so his dad was coming and doing work for me. And one morning,
hold on, let me tell the story that Dave doesn't have at the beginning. The building that Dave used to own, that he owns a new building now, but he used to own a different building a little bit away from this one. It was originally a square shell. It had nothing in it except a second little floor area. And when you bought the building, before you moved in, it needed to be renovated for it to fit your business.
Built out.
And so you hired a company who didn't actually do the work. They
hired his dad.
They subcontracted. And I knew the owner's brother, his little brother, Rick's little brother, Travis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Travis said, "Hey, this dude," which was Dave, "bought this building that's going to need to be renovated next month. I don't have anyone I like. Can you tell your dad and see if he'll do it?" And I said, well, I'll certainly go over there. And so a week later, we're in the building, and Dave's coming over to, point out everything he wants done. And my dad's like, "Yeah, I'll do it." And he's like, "Okay, here's the guy." And so the following Monday, 8 a.m. Monday morning, building's ready to be, built out. And,
he's getting close to how we met. He almost said it.
And the first day.
No, stop right there. Just stop. No. Let me tell you all about the green convertible Mustang.
Wait, first, the first day that we met, before the work started, when we came over, I was in my Mustang, the convertible that I had, and I ran over a nail and popped a tire out back of the building. And at some point, I backed into one of the buildings and put paint all over my back bumper.
Listen, you're getting out of. When I pulled in, I got out of my car or truck, or maybe
you had a Hummer. You had the teal Hummer.
I was riding my bike. I don't even know, right?
No, you had the teal Hummer. The teal Hummer.
And I walked up the sidewalk, and I was looking at this Mustang that he had painted the inside of with a spray paint can. And I stopped and I looked at it, and he was in it asleep. He was sleeping in the car. And so I went on in, and his dad's in there working, and I'm like, "Do you know who's sleeping in the car in front of my building?" And he's like, "That's my son." And I'm like, shouldn't he be in here helping?
I was 21 years old.
And I'm like, and he's like, "Yeah, he'll get up in a little bit." And I'm like,
the Rockstar works from 10 a.m.
Listen, I said, so what causes him to wake up? He goes, "Oh, he'll get real hot shortly."
Because at 21 years old, I was too broke to run the air conditioning.
He was. That is true.
So at 21, I still had the same Rockstar work ethic that I have now. My day starts later than everyone, but I will outwork you between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. rather than 6 a.m. and noon
That's-
every day
well,
of the
you
week.
know, that's the beautiful part about what we do. You don't have to be up at 7 o'clock in the morning. You can list from 7 p.m. till 7 a.m. You can work all night long. You will need to pack and ship the next day. You either do it in the middle of the night and have it out by your mailbox, but you can certainly work overnight if you want to.
Absolutely. I just choose to wake up later than most people, but you guys know I respond to a lot of your stuff at midnight, 1 and 2 a.m. So.
You know, I mean, I don't get to work until 9:30 every morning.
Right,
so
right. There's a lot of people that work the 6 a.m. route, but it's just not us.
I can't. No.
He said Casey had a hangover.
I'm like, if I hadn't gotten, I'm just gonna say lucky and started making money, I would really be very bad at not having money.
That's true.
I have no other way to say that.
Somebody said, so how did I go from sleeping in a car to where we are now? And
he walked in my office and said, I can buy these magic cards. I need $2,000.
Part of it
out of my pocket and said, here. And he's like, well, come with me. We drove over to this guy's, had this little warehouse. And it was in this little warehouse that the fire bell story.
Oh, yeah.
The fire truck bell story. He's like, he comes over.
That guy had so much stuff. I don't even know where that guy got all that crap.
He's like, he come over to me away from the guy, and he's like, that fire truck bell, it'll sell for like $1,000.
50
if you can get it for $50, right? Get it for 50. Come on. And I'm like, hey man, how much for the bell? And he goes, I don't know. I mean, you're taking these cars. Just make me an offer. Anything you want in here. This guy had like 800 Barbie dolls, brand new in the boxes. I'm like, well, I'll take the fire truck bell, $50. Give me all the Barbies. I'll take all 800 of them for like
NASCAR cars,
$200.
NASCAR cars.
Loaded the truck up, and I think by the end of that month, Casey had turned that. I think we spent like maybe $3,000 into 30,000.
Yeah.
It was like 30. It was like 30 grand. It was crazy.
The fire truck bell itself, everyone knows we sold for $950. Now it did cost $80 to ship, but we sold it for $950. It sold up north, but
there it is, the fire bell. Deb says there it is, the fire truck.
$900.
We've told this story a whole bunch of times.
People don't believe me that I sold things for prices that were crazy back in the day. Like eBay used to be a whole nother world. For those of you that are new, it was a whole new world.
But listen, those Barbies, some of them that were in those boxes brand new were collectors, and some of them went up on eBay for like $500 and $600. Like I was blown away. I didn't sell
holiday Barbies.
I didn't sell anything back then on eBay. I was repairing. I had just gotten into repairing consumer electronics, and we were learning how to repair the very first iPhones. And so that's all I concentrated on. And all of a sudden, Casey's like, no, you can sell this stuff on eBay. And I'm like, no, I don't. eBay, there's a bunch of scammers. That people steal your money, they steal your materials. Like, no. You let me show you. And I'm like, how are you going to show me? You were just sleeping out front in your car.
Yeah, right.
Hey, he did it.
Two really funny questions. Rod says, if I hit you up for $2,000 back then, what do I hit you up for now? Right now, we have two answers to that question. One, there's a running joke for $300. Every time we call each other, it's to borrow $300. There's no particular reason. It's simply, let's see what I can get. If I call you for $3,000, you're going to want to know why and question me. If I ask for $300, no one's really going to cough at 300. Well, we're not going to, bat too big of an eye over $300. And the other running joke is, if $300 is what you need to borrow, you're probably in real bad shape. So
that's what I always. That's exactly correct.
And so the other running joke of what do I hit him up for now is actually nothing, which is hilarious. I call him every month and I'm like, hey, I've got 2 weeks to make $3,000 because that's what I need to make. And then about 2 weeks later, he goes, you need to borrow anything? I'm like, nope, I got another month. I'm good. So every month I've cranked it out. I think the last time that we did a deal was for like $20,000.
And that was for a bunch of iPhone. Man, what were those? They were fives. Fives. They were fives.
So you're talking 5-6 years ago. The last time we did a big deal like that. Yeah. There hasn't been those big deals. Things have changed. So, collector Barbies are tougher to sell now. Everything tougher to sell now.
Oh, you're testing me. Well, that server rack is great for, like I collect junk. So like if you're just telling me you just want to get rid of it, I'll send you a picture of my junk collection, and it is quite impressive.
The best thing is you don't have to pay to ship it. He lives right down the road.
I know, right? I'm like, you can't do anything with it. I just collect old communications equipment, tape drive servers. I've got a building full of this stuff. You can't sell it. It's more of a people come to visit with me and we talk about like we're doing now. And I walk you back there and you see all this stuff and people are like oohing and awing. And I'm like, and it's not worth anything. It's just really cool to look at.
When Deb had a question, when was that Radio Shack deal that we bought the 72? You bought the 72 pallets.
Oh man, that was
4 years ago.
4 years ago. So that happened because Radio Shack was going in bankruptcy, and they started doing store liquidations. And I was just connected to a whole bunch of people that do store liquidations. And a guy called me up and he's like, "Hey, you can say how many stores you want. It's all new material." And so I ended up calling the vice president of Radio Shack at the time, Richard, and I was like, "Hey, just whatever, just load up some trucks and send them to me and just send me a bill." And so they ended up sending us like 3 tractor trailer loads of this stuff. And
I counted the pallets. I think it was 72 or 70.
It was crazy. Some of the stuff, it's brand new, and you're like, nobody's gonna buy this. There's no, this thing's like 50 cent in Radio Shack. And we started just, I got scan guns and I called a temp service and had them send over like 50 people the next morning. 50 people showed up. We had all these laptops and scan guns, and we're just scanning UPCs. And it was like, it turned into a cash register. Like Amazon, it was like ding, 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 ding. All of a sudden, these 50-cent items were actually selling for $4 and $5 on Amazon. It was crazy.
Plus shipping.
And we couldn't keep up with it. It was unbelievable.
Deb Motaz says, "Dave, the server rack is yours. Love for you to have it. AKA, I'd love for it to be gone." I made a killing off parting out. Reseller Rockefeller had offered me, and Dave, I don't know if he understood me. I'll say it in words instead of in the messages. He had a guy that had 500,000 pieces of sports memorabilia. Now, some of it was jerseys, you know, boxes with a couple thousand jerseys, some footballs. He had cards. He had all this stuff. And apparently, you know, it was millions of dollars in inventory, and he wanted like whatever, $1 a unit. He wanted a couple $100,000 for it. And I told the guy, you know, Reseller Rockefeller, I said, deals like this that are that big, there's typically more to the story.
That's
and
right.
Some guy with, you know, 500,000 units of anything, regardless, is not just going to liquidate them for pennies on the dollar to somebody random off of Instagram or Facebook or whatever. There's probably part of this story that you don't understand. And if I had the guy's information and I reached out to him and I talked to him, I'd find out the rest of the story. And I don't imagine it is what it is. And so I didn't really waste any time on it. And I don't want, you know, Reseller Rockefeller to think I thought it was a waste of time. Just when you start talking about numbers that big, there's
I'll give you a good example, right? And you can fill in the blanks here for me, Casey, because I vaguely remember this. You and I, you come one day to the office and you were sweating because you had a conversation with a guy that had a storage unit full of die-cast NASCARs. And this guy wanted, let's say it was like $10 a piece, and you're like, these things sell for hundreds of dollars a piece. Let's go. We jumped in the car. We ran over there. The guy opened up the door, and there were a lot of good ones, but there were a lot of those where the driver wasn't the driver of that car anymore, and that memorabilia ended up being worth less. And that's why he couldn't sell that stuff. And so when somebody says, I've got hundreds of thousands of pieces of something and I can't sell it, or somebody's trying to sell it, they've gone broke because they invested everything in it, and it's not what they thought it was going to be. And every time one of those guys leaves and those jerseys change and those signed pictures change, your value starts tanking, and it'll pull everything down with it.
Right. Deals that big, they're just too complicated, and they just don't happen. Up to list by 5:30, so select treasure resellers. Thank you for watching. Yeah, if you ever get approached with a deal, even forget about hundreds of thousands, even 10,000 items, big deals, get the entire story, find out the situation, get it in writing. It doesn't happen that often. For us to buy 72 pallets, you had to go all the way up to the, you know, vice president of operations of a former Fortune 500 company.
Right,
so yeah, I mean, and 72 pallets, there's a couple thousand. I mean, that was a couple 100,000 pieces of merchandise. So just keep that in mind.
Let's see here. Laughed at spending 20K through. Reseller spent 10K. Ended up making close to 125,000. I sold 25,000 units to a guy in Orlando. It was a straight deal. Well, no, that's awesome. But you just said 20K, not 200,000.
Yeah.
Right.
I see anything over 50 grand being a red flag. Once you hit 50,000,
start talking numbers, like $20,000 is. Yeah, you can buy some pallets, you can do stuff, you can make a little bit of money. But when you come to me and you're like, "Hey, Dave, I got a guy who wants $200,000 for something,"
no, that's a lot. It's huge.
Yeah.
We're gonna get on an airplane and fly to his building and see it all in person.
Yeah.
I do a great job. Thanks. Cut the check. Somebody said, "Do I have another job than eBay?" Amazon, YouTube, affiliates, the VIP group. I have a lot of different jobs. I do a ton of things.
I have one job and I'm really not good at it.
Yeah, your job is annoying the absolute dog crap out of me all day. For those of you, I'm on my phone. My bad. For all of you that don't think
you're gonna show how many times I've called you today?
For anybody who doesn't think that's legit.
Good gracious.
Annoying the absolute dog crap out of me.
He had $1 million. I wanted to buy the whole place, so I tried getting others in on the deal. I didn't have the capital to buy everything. Well, you know what? Listen, Casey won't blow you off next time. I mean, if you got legit, just
no, he said it's I thought it was 500,000 pieces, 1 million pieces of inventory. Nobody has 1 million pieces of inventory. Nobody in a back warehouse has 1 million pieces of inventory. It just doesn't happen. How many pieces of inventory do you think a big, huge company has? We're talking big companies with millions of pieces of inventory.
We use Gander Mountain as a good example. When Marcus Lemonis went in and bought them out of bankruptcy, $50 million deal, they had $500 million in inventory that he bought $50 million, and he's already made $275 million back just keeping the stores open and liquidating it.
Right.
So, yes, it is possible.
It's possible, but we're talking a big company, not an eBay seller with 1 million pieces of inventory.
Somebody just want to know what the funniest deal that we guys ever run across. Well, it's just going to be that fire truck bell. That's the funniest thing I ever saw.
It was the funniest deal. Yeah. I bought a little bottle of World War II morphine in a bottle, the ones they used to crack open and either put in their mouth or they'd put it into the bottom of a needle and stab it. I kept that for a long time, and I finally sold it to a guy for like $50. I paid like $2 for it or something.
Do I think the only way to make real profits is buying in bulk? Well, it's relative to what do you mean by real profits? You could buy thrift store, Goodwill, Salvation Army and make real profit. Are you talking about going from making $10,000 a month to $100,000 a month? Because that just takes a whole lot of capital, a whole lot of manpower.
Does this mean Casey's a drug dealer? Because I sold World War II circa era morphine? Potentially.
I don't think so.
I don't think so, though.
I don't think so. Toys R Us is closing down their stores. Should I stock up? Well, if you get the phone call that you can buy for pennies on the dollar as they start liquidating, I'll get that call. And I don't want that call. The last thing I want to do is have pallets of toys. Toys R Us can't stay in business. This isn't like Radio Shack.
Dave R Us won't stay in business.
That's right. We had 22,000 things like this big.
RCA adapters.
Right. I mean, we had 22,000 these things this big that we're selling for like $3 or $4. You're talking about toys now. You're talking about tractor trailer loads of brand new toys. The boxes have to stay intact. Like, you go back to the Barbie talk. With those Barbies, the only reason that they were any value is because the boxes were pristine. If you're looking at toys for selling them as toys, you're gonna take a beating. Like, toys don't sell really well year round.
200 Toys R Us closings. Do you think there's opportunity to buy out the stores?
Sure, absolutely. If you've got enough money.
Everyone thinking they're going to get a deal will flood the market. Yeah, that happens a lot too. Do you think there's going to be any brick and mortar physical stores left in 20 years? Yeah, Amazon's brick and mortar store.
Right. I mean, they're opening grocery stores. They're opening their own stores in Manhattan. I mean, they're as everyone else is going out of business because they're putting them out of business. They're doing what they wanted to do.
I'm not reading the questions. Hang on, I'm responding one.
Toys R Us is not going out of business. They would reorganize first. No, they're closing a few hundred stores.
They're closing stores
right?
to reduce costs.
They're closing the not profitable stores. You know, like here in Tampa, we have one in Brandon and one in Tampa, and because these stores are 30 miles apart, the next store is 30 miles away. One of those stores is going to close. And then somebody's going to have to drive 45 minutes to get to Toys R Us. And that's what allows them to remain profitable.
Amazon could boom and bust, expand too much, and then just go bust. They have a whole bunch of money.
There you go. I bought a Star Wars store on clearance at Walmart last summer. I still have most of them not selling. That is correct, because the Star Wars franchise is ever changing. And if you end up on a clearance item, and by the next time a movie comes out, that item has changed or they have moved on, you'll become a big loser. You got to be careful about buying items that are part of a franchise that will move and change. Sums are a great example. Disney Sums, they're on like version 9 of Sums. You end up going and getting clearance Sum version 1s, you can't sell them for nothing. You end up getting version 9s, and then they're selling for like $20 a piece on Amazon.
What do you think of Best Buy 5 to 10 years from now? I think they'll still hang around.
They have no competition. Why wouldn't they be here? How many electronic stores do you know of that could
They put them all out of business. Circuit City, Radio Shack, and
that's right. I mean, who's
HH
left?
all out of business.
Right, who's left? I mean, tell me somebody's left. Costco, they're not. It's not the same market. Like Sam's, not the same market. So Best Buy stands alone, right? And then everybody else is a mixed bag of retail. You can't compare Best Buy to Walmart or Target. They're not even in the same ball game.
My wrecking crew's home.
80
years old, out of business. His son's trying to empty his warehouse. Says he was the largest NBA seller. I'll message you, reseller. Anyways, the wrecking crew's coming.
Are you saying there's still material there to buy?
A million
if there are, please tell him to send you a message, and we'll make arrangements.
I have the guy's phone number. I'll send it to you.
We'll go take a look at it. No, you can do it. I'll tag along. I'll write the check, and we'll go take a look at the deal.
Yeah, great. I don't even know if he's in this state. He's retired, but the wrecking crew's home. Kate's not in yet, but the wrecking crew's home. What's your eBay account again? Sorry for asking so many times. It's linked down below. The link to my eBay store is below. Open the description box. Circuit City is going to be revived as an online store. Very interesting. Paul, I'll have to look into that.
No. That was the Tiger Direct guys.
Direct.
They bought the Circuit City logo and name, and they're pooling it with the Tiger Direct because what they found is
loved Tiger Direct. We used to go in there for everything.
When it used to be CompUSA. See, and then it went to Tiger Direct, and then people couldn't build a brand appeal to the name Tiger Direct, and they hurt themselves through the brand recognition, and so they bought the Circuit City logo and brand, and that's how they're just going to lay it over top of what they're already doing with Tiger Direct.
Okay, I'm going to let everyone go on that. But Curtis, last question. Curtis, opportunity to buy 5,000 to 8,000 pieces of Avon. Make sure it's not expired. Make sure it's good stuff, and know you're going to sit on it for a while. So lowball the absolute crap out of whoever's buying it for you. Rick's going to start.
Lakeland Wayne, I ended up eating most of my Twinkies thinking it was a good investment. I agree. We bought a bunch of moon pies discount, and we ended up eating them all. And most of
I told Knight that I would buy this as an investment, but you can see the investment's not really working out so well.
The investment's paying off. You seem very pleased with yourself right now.
The only way I can deal with you. I'm going to go get the wrecking crew. They're here. I see the headlights. So everyone enjoy your evening. Thanks for tagging along for like an hour and 35 or 40 minutes. Thanks, Dave, to join. I'll link his channel, Drive Time with Dave. You can type that in the search bar if you don't want to wait for me, or just use the link that'll be down below later. Thanks, everyone, for joining. Thanks, everyone, Paul and Melissa and Deb and Thrifty T and Reseller and every single Star and Keith are in the chat. I love all you guys. Make sure you check out Dave's channel. More videos to come if he can pull himself away from the circus, the zoo that is 5 DePristos.
Wow.
They are a circus animal.
They are.
Bye, everybody. Enjoy your evening. Enjoy your sales. VIP group, Bolo list, both available. 15 for the group, 10 for the list. Email it rockstarflipper@gmail.com, and I'll see you again tomorrow with another video in the night.
Have a good night.